ABC. New York erased a 20-point deficit in both Game 1 and Game 2 to beat the Celtics in Boston. They now head back home for a potential 3-0 series lead against the reigning champs. This is the first time the Knicks are leading a series 2-0 while winning both games on the road, since the 1999 playoffs. Teams that go up 2-0 in a best-of-7 series have gone on to win the series 92% of the time. However, in 7 of the last 8 completed postseasons, at least one team has won a series after trailing 2-0. All right, Jay Will, let's begin with you. Is Game 3 a must-win for the New York Knickerbockers?
You're damn right it is. Listen, you don't play with your food when you're going against a team with the best offensive rating in NBA history. It's 123.2 rating. And look, 2 of the games, they've been down 20. I'm going to be in the building on Saturday. This building is going to be electric. MSG is going to be off the charts. What do you do when somebody's down? You keep them down. And S.A., Wendy, you both know this personally. Shooters shoot. What's the last thing you want shooters to see? The ball go in the net. You don't want them to find their rhythm, because if the Celtics find their rhythm, all the pressure will then be back on New York because the Celtics will have found their jump shot. And if they shoot anywhere better, don't let them shoot in the 40s from the three-point line, because that momentum, and by the way, they're a better team on the road than they are at home. 33-8 on the road this season, which set a franchise record for the Boston Celtics. So them coming into that building, knowing all the history, playing at this level when the crowd's going to be electric, if they shoot the lights out of the ball, all that momentum is going to swing back towards Boston. And we've seen it before in playoffs back in the past. So I think New York, if they're down, keep them down, keep your foot on their neck. And if you get Game 3, then that pressure just goes all towards Boston. Because people don't really believe that the Knicks fans believe it, but everybody else who follows basketball, you're just waiting for the Boston Celtics to find their rhythm, because you know this is not the team we've seen them be throughout the course of the regular season.
Well, you're looking at the New York Knicks. I mean, one can make the argument, just make sure you walk away with at least one victory and you go back to Boston for Game 5, up 3-1. But I'm with you, Jay. I'm of the mindset that you got to win Game 3. And the reason why is because what you don't want to do is walk into Game 4 with Boston believing, all right, we got one, we're back on track. Let's close this out now and tie this series up and reclaim home court advantage. You don't want that to happen. That's a disaster for the New York Knicks. The Boston Celtics are 33-8 on the road. They've played better on the road than they've played at home. The New York Knicks are undefeated on the road this year in the postseason, but they're 1-2 at Madison Square Garden. So I'm looking at it and I'm saying, I don't expect Jason Tatum to continue to struggle. I don't expect Jaylen Brown to continue to struggle. I don't expect the Boston Celtics collectively to continue to struggle. That means the New York Knicks are going to have to up their game and be prepared to play a hell of a lot better than we've seen even them play. Can we anticipate and expect the Boston Celtics to go 8 minutes plus in the fourth quarter without a field goal, missing 13 consecutive shots? I don't think we can expect that. So these are the kind of things that I'm looking at. These are the champions, and they're not giving it to you. You're going to have to go and take it. And that's what I think the New York Knicks need to be prepared to do. And it starts by treating Game 3 with the urgency that it deserves, which is why I was happy that Karl Anthony Towns spent time in Boston in the locker room reminding them he's been here before. Minnesota was up 2-0 last year on Denver after winning the first 2 games in Denver and almost lost the damn series. It took them Game 7 because Denver came storming back. You don't want to find yourself in that position if you're the New York Knicks, because these are the champions that we're talking about here. And I'm not sleeping on them one bit. I'm still worried about Boston.
I'm glad you brought up what Karl said, because there's a lot of guys in that Knicks locker room. This team has not done this together before. It's a very experienced team, actually. When you talk about Karl Towns, who was up 2-0 in a playoff series last year in Minnesota, where they won both games in Denver, then came home and lost Games 3 and 4. He was immediately talking to his teammates about that. You got Mikal Bridges, who's a veteran of multiple long playoff runs with Phoenix, including going to the finals. You got PJ Tucker over there. And I know PJ Tucker has not got a big role. PJ Tucker's got a big voice. This is a champion. There's a guy in there with the ring. You got OG Anunoby, who's not an outspoken, be a vocal leader, but certainly leads by example. There's a lot of guys in that Celtics locker room who can have a calming force. I do not think, I'm sorry, in the Knicks locker room, I don't think you're going to see the Knicks come out with any sort of belief that this is not going to be very difficult. I think everybody on that roster will say that. It's a very unusual series. I've never quite seen anything like it. I'm having a difficult time analyzing it, to be honest with you, because conventional wisdom and conventional operation of the games have gone out. Conventionally, analytically, the Celtics should be 2-0 up. And even if you allow for one game sort of going to the classic playoff variance, it's very hard to explain how both games played out in that exact fashion. The idea that the Knicks have only led for about 10% of the time but are 2-0, it's an unusual situation. The intangible is the Knicks' confidence. That confidence that the Knicks have late in games, even when they're behind, has been the X factor. So conventionally, I would say that if a team is up 2-0 coming home for Game 3, that they're up 2 breaks, and that Game 3 isn't a must-win game. You're not coming into this game thinking you got to play Jalen Brunson 45 minutes. You're not coming into this game saying you're playing 7 guys and that's it. But I understand why you're saying it. Number one, if the Knicks win Game 3, historically, conventionally, it's over because you never see anybody's never come back from 3-0. So that's big. But I think because this is so much riding on the edge, where the difference between Boston being up 2, even though I know Boston's played awful, the difference between them being up 2-0 and being down 2-0 is very, very thin. And so putting them down 0-3 with giving the Knicks, because the difference in this series has been confidence, just from a confidence standpoint, I can see why you can create this case. Michael Wilbon said earlier today, the winner of Game 3 will win the series. I sat back in my chair.
Do the fingers.
Because I was like, is that true? Because a lot of times I've covered series where I've felt that. Typically, I feel it in Game 4s. Game 4s and Game 5s. When one team is up 2-1 or it's 2-2. That's when you kind of feel like whoever wins this game wins it. I'm not sure I've ever been involved with a series where a series has been 2-0 and I've said whoever wins Game 3 wins the series. But I think Wilbon's instinct might be onto something here. It depends on how it goes. But conventional thinking is getting me nowhere here.
But Wendy, I would say to you that I think also another intangible is the lack thereof confidence for Boston. Like right now, as a player, when you're in these games and you're getting wide open looks and the ball is not going in, you start conversations with yourself. You are no longer just playing with freedom. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are at their best when they're playing free. They're not thinking, they're reacting, right? And a lot of those habits are able to kick into different gears. So when you're having conversations with yourself, and think about it, we saw that with Jason Tatum. Like that drive against Mitchell Robinson, when he's going left, that's an easy stick your right foot in the ground, step back to your left. That's a jumper. That's a shot he would have taken before. But because he's thinking so much, and because of the way Game 1 went, he's no longer reading and